And good morning to all of you. Uh, After a long break, your class test and Eid leave, you're starting your online lectures and practicals, and due to the lockdown is still uh, running. And since we have covered before 3 units uh, before Eid or before your test, if they say, uh, we will look back all 3 units what we have covered already, and then we will proceed for the unit number 4, that is about the pollution, uh, environmental pollution and different types of pollution and classification and their impact on the land, that is soil, water and the air. So before going that the pollution on the environment, we will look back what we have covered before. This is the MSBT study material available on the internet. You can also download. So in first unit, you have covered about the environment. What is the environment and the biotic components and abiotic components of your environment. So in that, the biotic components are nothing but the living organisms. Biotic components are nothing but the living organisms, and they are nothing but the people, children, trees, grass, plants, insects and birds, etc. All living things will come in under the biotic components. And abiotic components are nothing but the non-living things, that is soil, water, air, mountain, etc. All these come into the abiotic component. Similarly, we have seen the uh, food cycle and also need of the environment, and we have seen about the different the environment made up of with the atmosphere, that is the air, hydrosphere, the life underwater, and lithosphere, the life on the earth, and they are nothing but the minerals and soils, organic matters, etc. available uh, on the surface of your earth, and then hydrosphere, the life into water, and the atmosphere. These three constitutes the your biosphere, and a biosphere indicates the realm of the living organism and their interaction with environment, that is atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere. So combinedly, this atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere, we can say that that is nothing but our biosphere. So this we have covered in unit number your one. The student joining late and another lane, so they are not allowed. Please avoid such things. Okay. So today is the revision class, that's why I'm accepting all the invitations. But from tomorrow onwards, the regular uh, unit number one, four when start, then I will not accept. So these three uh, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere combinedly they are called a biosphere, and they constitute the environment, okay, which we are studying. So that we have seen, and also we have seen in unit number one the concept of 4R due to the pollution into the environment, and different pollutants and wastages that due to the water, due to wastages on the soil or land, and due to the solid wastages, and many some gases and harmful gases we are releasing into the uh, atmosphere. So that is air pollution. So to 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 avoid those such pollutions को कम करने के लिए या उसको रिड्यूस करने के लिए या उसको avoid करने के लिए we are using the 4R concept, and that also we have seen the unit number one. The 4R concept is nothing but to reduce the use of the such materials such as plastic, etc., so that they are non-degradable and they persistent in the soil in long time. So that's why to reduce the use of such materials that are harmful for our environment. Reuse, many materials are reusable, uh, uh, and that can be reused after, uh, such as we can say that paper industry, our paper we can reuse, and we can prepare another quality of paper from the paper. Okay, so that is reuse, and then recycle. Recycle means when you are using the byproduct material to manufacture something. The example I have told you that is fly ash and slag, GGBFS, जैसे ground granulated blast furnace slag and rice husk gas, etc. We are producing the energy from the coal and that is thermal power plant, and the byproduct of the thermal power plant are the fly ash. So we can reuse that is that material, and that material are can be used in the construction industry. So this you can reuse, and the recycle the material. Also the recover, you can regenerate some material or recover material from the earth crust due to the plantation and etc. That is we have seen in the minute number one. Then the public awareness about the environment, that is also we have seen in unit number one. So you have to aware the public about the environmental impact. If you are okay, so this awareness to educate the people about the environment, until studies and participation of people in the environmental issues, so that they will learn that due to the pollution or due to the wastages we are throwing on our lands, and the harmful gases, mostly the carbon dioxide, etc., we are releasing to the atmosphere, they are harmful for our living organism or human beings. So this awareness should be given to the uh, uh, pupils and in your society. Join the local movement that support activities like saving trees in areas, uh, or also planting of the trees in your areas, or then join the group to study nature such as WWF1 or another environmental groups available to save the or to reduce the use of such material, they are harmful for our environment. So this reduce means the prevent the generation of the waste. Reuse means use a resource again and again without changing it, or reprocessing it. Recycle means reproduce or remanufacture the new material by using the recyclable waste as a raw material in the parent industry, uh, such as paper, glass, plastic, metal, and rubber, etc. And similarly, recover producing the usable product or energy by processing, treating the waste, that is biogas, fertilizers, waste energy. So these all are the four R concept, and we have seen already in the unit number one, and now also we have seen. So this is the your revision of your unit number one. Then in unit number two, we have learned about the energy resources, and there are the natural resources and artificial resources also. Or you can say uh, in natural resources, the main most valuable resource, that is forest. If you are saving the forest, then the carbon dioxide gas present in the atmosphere they are utilizing, and the fresh oxygen they are giving to us, and that's where the forest resource. Also we are getting wood from the forest, and we are using as a energy source that wood. Also, the water is another energy source we are using for many decades. Next lecture, I will not allow any student. They will join the lecture after 10 minutes of your time. Then the forest resources, the water resources, from water we are producing the hydroelectricity, and also from the sea we are cyclic of this your wave, we are producing the electricity for the movement of water. Also, the land resources, they are also in the natural resources and many such minerals available. That is the coal. We are burning the coal and we are getting the thermal power. We are getting the electricity. So we are using the minerals present by mining from the resources, also the petroleum and gases we are getting from the earth crust. Is similarly the mineral resources just now and energy resources. Some energy resources are also we are using for our. In unit number two, we have seen the concept of resource as renewable resources and non-renewable energy resources, and also the cyclic resources. So, renewable energy resources are nothing but the resources we can uh, reuse or uh, or we can use as a many purposes, and that are they're not harmful or their impact on the environment. And similarly, the non-renewable resources, they are used and but their impacts are there on the environment, such as diesel, petrol we are using our gases, and they are releasing the gases that are harmful for the environment. And cyclic resources, the best example is water. And many times we can use the water, the quality of water, and that is really available on the earth crust. And there are many cycles and many times we can use hydroelectric plant. हम जनरेट करते हैं वाटर, वही वाटर हमारे इरिगेशन के लिए यूज होता है, and then that water goes into the underground, and then pure water we are getting on the underground also. So this the cyclic resources is the water, because this when from the river it is flowing and then evaporation is there and it makes the cloud after condensing at the atmosphere, then again the rainfall is we are getting the water through the rainfall. So this is the water is nothing but the example of your cyclic resources. And you can see the renewable resources, and that is the solar power, hydropower, wind energy from the windmill, uh, we can say, and the tidal energy, where the tidal waves or sea waves are there, and we are utilizing the that energy. And you can see here the wind power are generating from the windmills. Then the solar and hydropower, wind energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, and this biogas, all these are the example of renewable energy. Yeah. So resources that can be replenished naturally in the course of time are called renewable resources. These energy sources are continuously replenished at the constant rate. है ना? रोजाना सूरज हमारा निकलता है, डेली वी आर गेटिंग द सनलाइट एंड वी आर गेटिंग द सोलर पावर. इसी तरह पानी से हम लोग हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोड्यूस करते हैं और वी आर गेटिंग द दैट रीयूज दैट वाटर अगेन फॉर इरिगेशन पर्पज एंड अदर पर्पज. इसी तरह हवा के फ्लो से, उसकी वेलोसिटी से, उसके मूवमेंट से वी आर रनिंग द विंडमिल्स एंड वी आर गेटिंग द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोड्यूस. Similarly, tidal energy and also the geothermal energy, that is under the ground, the hot water are available and hot steams are available under the earth crust. And if you are using that uh, steam and that hot water to produce the energy, that is nothing but it is called as geothermal energy. Okay. Also, hydroelectricity we are producing from the water we have seen, and this wind energy, also tidal energy we are producing to the movement of the water near the seashores, and geothermal energy we are using the hot water or the steam for production of electricity. Uh, the hot water or hot steams are available under the stream, and we are using to produce the electricity as geothermal energy. And then biogas and plant from the organic waste, and from that waste we are producing the gases, and that gas are used for the production of your uh, gobar gas or another gas, and that can be supplied to the for the cooking purpose, and we are using that energy. So these are nothing but the renewable energies. Then the raw non-renewable energy sources, from mineral sources we are collecting the oil, natural gas, petroleums, coal, and nuclear fuels, etc. These are the examples of non-renewable energy. So in unit number 2, we have seen all this about the energy resources, types of energy resources, also the renewable, non-renewable, and also the conventional and non-conventional. So these non-renewable energy sources we are using uh, many years and many decades. They are nothing but the, you can say, the conventional energy sources. And these non-renewable energy sources, they are also called as the conventional energy sources, and sometimes this uh, renewable energy sources, that is very low impact on the environment. They are called as the non-conventional energy sources. So these are different minerals. We are getting the natural gas, LPG, and coal, and from burning the coal, we are getting the electricity, nuclear fuels from the radioactive elements. We are uh, getting the energy. An example of cyclic resources, for example, water used in industry and domestic waste can be cleaned and used again for similar other purposes. Such a resources are given in the name of cyclic resources. So water is the best example for the. Then we have seen the concept of this energy resources and depletion of the energy resources. So definition of energy resources may be the long or continuous use of the uh, resources. So yes, for the next time I will not allow you to join the late. Okay, this last chance to all of you. You should join the lecture on time. So natural resources, if we use those or overuse the naturally available materials, minerals, etc., then the depletion of natural resources can be occurred. That is the exploitation or overuse, and then the depletion. That is depletion due to nothing but to the overuse impact on the environment, and this is the concept map, how the we are impacting on the environment, due the due to the overuse or over exploitation of the natural resources. So depletion of natural resources uh, is due to the overpopulation, overconsumption of the materials, and wastages of materials, and wastages of the resources. Deforestation is the also the main cause, because we are not planting a tree, and but we are cutting the trees, and that impact we are seeing nowadays also, uh, and due to fire also in some part of the world, and the forest, that is also the reason for the depletion of natural resources. And the mining activities are the major activities to get the material from the earth crust. We are doing the mining in large scale, and that is the nothing but the over exploitation or overuse of the materials, that is due to mining activities. Also, the industrial development, the need and requirement of energy is increased, and due to the increased requirement of energy, uh, we are again doing the mining and reusing the natural resources. Uh, that energy resources, they are non-renewable. Also, the pollution due to that use of the non-renewable energy resources, they release the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and they pollute the environment. And many such harmful gases they are releasing, and that is harmful for the living organisms or the human being, you can say. So causes of depletion, we can say the many number of things are there: overpopulation, overconsumption, wastages, deforestation, mining and minerals of oil, and six, the technological and industrial development, and the pollution and contamination of the resources. So all these things we are seen in unit number two, and also the briefly we have seen here also. Okay, the overuse of natural resources, deforestation, desertification, soil erosion, landslides, and all these are the impact due to the depletion of the natural resources, and that is very harmful in future also. You can see the many areas and are drying, and due to the soil erosions, because of no vegetation cover of the lands, and that is very harmful. And many other factors also, droughts and uh, cyclones, etc. They are also affecting the or also the landslide due to no plantation and no vegetation cover. The soil is eroded, and so many part of the region you can observe the mountainous region. You observe if there is no vegetation cover, the landslides are over, because roots of the vegetation cover, they are holding down the soils, and they are avoiding the landslides. So that's also due to the mining and impact of, you can say, large scale mining results in the earthquakes and eruption of the volcanoes. That is also impacting our. Then extinction of species, the species, uh, uh, they are rarely available uh, in the uh, land habitat, and many such species they are not seen now. These species are called a extinction. Okay, तो जो species जो कम है जो कम है और जो अब नहीं दिखते हैं या बहुत रेयरली अवेलेबल है, तो ऐसी स्पेसीज को हम लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं कि वो खत्म हो रही है, वो स्पेसीज खत्म हो रही है। तो ऐसे जैसे कि फॉर्मोसन क्लाउडेड लेपर्ड है, मैसेंजर पैसेंजर पिजन है, और many such animals and birds are there. They are no more seen nowadays, and previously they are available at the earth crust, and they are called as extinction. Extinct. So they are called as extinct, and no more they are available. Then the forms of energy resources मैंने जैसे बताया कि conventional and non-conventional. The conventional means not renewable energy resources. Once we are used, we cannot reuse that. And non-conventional energy resources, that is renewable energy resources such as water, solar, etc. So they are come under the forms of your energy resources. So thermal energy, nuclear energies, these are non-renewable, whereas the conventional, and whereas the non-conventional or renewable, that is solar, water, wind, and tidal, geothermal, biogas, hydropower energy, etc. They are coming under the energy form of non-conventional energy. So we have seen all these energies, their advantages, disadvantages in the unit number 2, and we have completed the successfully all the parts of the unit number 2, and we have seen the depletion of the energy resources due to the human activity. Mostly all these resources are declining or reducing due to the human activity. Uh, the human beings are responsible for that due to the overuse or exploitation of the resources. And it is happened when the need of the people are converted into the greed. When the need of people is converted into the greed, that is happening. Uh, I am repeatedly saying today is the revision class. That's why I am allowing the students. They are joining late, but from the next, from tomorrow, I will not allow the student. They will trying to join late. I am sorry from tomorrow. Now, in unit number 3, we have seen the what is ecosystem and the biodiversity. You know, so ecosystem where we are living in the environment, that is the biosphere, that is nothing but we can say that they are the nothing but called as the ecosystem. The ecosystem can be defined as any special organizational unit including living organism and non-living substances interacting to produce an exchange of material between the living and non-living parts. The ecosystem can be studied from either structural or the functional aspect. So definitely, the biotic and abiotic both combinedly they are relating to each other, and that is nothing but you can say that is nothing but the your ecosystem or our ecosystem. So aspect of ecosystem you can see there are two aspects. It may be structural aspect and the functional aspect, and we have seen all this in previous classes about the ecosystem. The components that make up the structural aspect of an ecosystem include inorganic aspects, that is the your nitrogen, carbon dioxide, water, etc. Organic compounds, that is proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, they are linked between the abiotic to biotic aspects. Abiotic means the non-living things, and biotic means the living things. So climatic regimes, that is temperature, moisture, light, and topography, etc. The main producer of your ecosystem are nothing but plant, because the animals, the energy cycle or food cycle depend on the main energy producer, that is the plant, because many animals herbivorous animals. They are eating the plant and they are getting the energy from that plant. And then uh, another that carnivorous animals and human being they are using the uh, herbivorous animals and plant also for their energy resources for this, and then from their waste that is utilized by the roots and plants, and then this cycle, you can see the food cycle or energy cycle is continuous. The energy cycle is continuous. You can see the food chain here. Example of food chain, you can see the plant grow by converting the sun energy. The plant, they are taking water from the roots and leaves from the sunlight due to the photosynthesis they are growing, and then you can see the insects they eat the grasses, and then the frog they will eat the insects, and frog eaten by the snake, and snake is eaten by the eagle, and then after the death of eagle it is decomposed, and it is decomposed into the soil, and the soil again uh, taken by the uh, your plants or grasses, and that is nothing but you can see the food chain. So you can see this different animals are there. So because many types of plants, different types of plants available in our earth crust, different types of animals available in our earth crust. So that is nothing but you can say that diversity. Diversity means the variety of plant and variety of animals are available, and they combinedly with the biotic and abiotic component, that is soil, water, air, and these animals, plants, etc. Combinedly they are they are called as our ecosystem, and they are uh, then there evolution theory and division of ecosystem. So producer are nothing but the main producer of the photosynthetic algae, plant and bacteria. All are the producers of the ecosystem. All other organisms depend on the directly or indirectly on the plant and algae, etc. Then they are the consumers are herbivorous or carnivorous and omnivorous animals. They eat the organic matter, produces the other organisms, and then reducers are the heterotrophic organisms like animals. They are fungi and the bacteria that decomposes dead organic matters. After the death of, you can say the cycle, it is available here. The sun, from the sunlight, the plant is growing. From the plant is eaten by the insects. The insects is eaten by the birds and other animals. And after the death of the animals, they are decomposed by the bacteria and uh, dead organic matters. And this cycle is continuing. So this is nothing but your ecosystem. Okay. And then we have seen the function and general characteristics of ecosystem in unit number 3 as well. So there are the ecosystem is a major structure and function unit of ecology. The structure of an ecosystem is related to its species diversity, such as the more complex ecosystem has high species diversity. Many variety of animals and plants are diversity means the variety of animals and plant or species are available in that ecosystem. So there are many such ecosystems are divided. Also the functions of ecosystem, transformation of solar energy into the food energy uh, due to photosynthesis, and in the circulation of element through energy flow. Example that is the carbon cycle. the carbon dioxide is taken by the uh, plants, and that is converted into oxygen, and that oxygen is taken by the animals, and animals are again giving back the carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, and similarly the carbon cycle is maintained, and that is also is a part of your ecosystem. The growth and development of plant, then we also seen the levels of biodiversity. There are uh, three types of diversity normally classified. There is genetic biodiversity, species biodiversity, and the ecosystem biodiversity. So that is based on different characteristics. The different diversities are classified. Genetic diversity, it includes the genetic variation within the species, यानी एक जैसे genetic species, अगर you can see the example of here the dogs are given, so many dogs are there, they are same genes, but you can see that their look are different, their structure are different, their colors are different. So that is nothing but you can see the genetic diversity within the species. Within the species, if the varieties are there, then that is called as genetic diversity. जैसे हम इंसान हैं, हम इंसानों में भी अगर देखेंगे तो सब इंसान एक जैसे नहीं दिखते, हर एक के कलर अलग है, किसी की हाइट अलग है ना, किसी के चलने का तरीका अलग है, किसी के बोलने का तरीका अलग है. So that is nothing but the you can see the said as the genetic diversity, and within the species there are varieties available, that is called as. इसी तरह हम देखेंगे, अगर हम गेहूं लाने जाते हैं तो दुनिया भर के गेहूं हैं, आम हम खरीदने जाते हैं तो दुनिया भर के आम, हमको अलग अलग टाइप के आम मार्केट में अवेलेबल है. So they are nothing but genetically many varieties are available, okay, within the species. Then the species diversity means different types of, अगर हम plant लें तो different types of plants are there. Multicellular plant, single cellular plant, viruses, bacteria, animals, fungi, है ना. इसी तरह एनिमल्स ले तो अलग अलग टाइप के वैरायटी ऑफ एनिमल्स हम देखते हैं दैट इज अवेलेबल. So different varieties of species are available, and that is termed as, that is called as the species diversity. So in unit number 3, we have completed all these parts we are discussing. This is the only revision class, and from tomorrow onward, we will start the unit number 4, and then the ecosystem diversity. It provides a variation in the biological communities in which species live, exist, interact. तो जनरली इकोसिस्टम अगर हम देखेंगे तो हमारे somewhere there are the forests, somewhere there are the desert, somewhere there are the grasslands, uh, and somewhere there are the forest, tropical rainforest, and the thunders, where the ice or there is always uh, आइस और बर्फ में जो हमेशा टिके रहते हैं उनको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, तुंद्रा का खित्ता हम बोलते हैं, तुंदर्स, है ना. तो दीज आर द नथिंग बट द इकोसिस्टम डाइवर्सिटी, है ना. डिजर्ट एक अलग इकोसिस्टम है, ग्रास लैंड एक अलग इकोसिस्टम है ना. रेन फॉरेस्ट, ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट अलग इकोसिस्टम है. So that are nothing but different ecosystem, तुंद्रा के कितने हैं, देर अलग एक इकोसिस्टम है उनका, है ना। तो जो एनिमल जहाँ पर रह सकते हैं, है ना, आप देखेंगे कि अगर बर्फीले इलाके में जो जानवर हैं उनके उनके बदन पर बाल ज्यादा होते हैं, गर्म रहने की वजह से, गर्म रहना चाहिए उनको, है ना, उनकी बॉडी को टेम्परेचर मेंटेन रहना चाहिए। तो दैट्स different places, different animals species are there, or they are suitable to that climate, that ecosystem. So they are linked each other. तो हम देखेंगे डिजर्ट में जो प्लांट एनिमल होते हैं वो वहाँ पर ही मिलेंगे, ग्रास लैंड में जो एनिमल प्लांट है वो वहीं पर मिलेंगे, दूसरे डिजर्ट के प्लांट वहाँ नहीं मिलेंगे आपको। इसी तरह ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट में जो प्लांट एनिमल्स हैं आपको वहाँ मिलेंगे, और बर्फीले एरियाज में जो प्लांट एनिमल्स हैं वो आपको वहाँ मिलेंगे, है ना। तो इस तरह हमारे डिफरेंट इकोसिस्टम्स हैं, तो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज नथिंग बट इकोसिस्टम डाइवर्सिटी। और उसको भी क्लासिफाई किया गया है अल्फा डाइवर्सिटी, बीटा डाइवर्सिटी एंड गामा डाइवर्सिटी। And alpha diversity is referred to a group organism interacting and competing for the same resources or sharing the same environment. तो सेम रिसोर्सेज और सेम एनवायरनमेंट जो शेयर करते हैं उनको क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग, अल्फा डाइवर्सिटी बोलते हैं। इसी तरह बीटा डाइवर्सिटी refers to the expression of diversity between the habitat. For example, in ecosystem X and Y, uh, only uncommon species varieties coexist in ecosystem. So they can use the different ecosystem, and this are called as the beta diversity, and the gamma diversity is referred to the landscape of diversity or diversity of habitat within the landscape or the region. Uh, in ecosystem X, Y, Z, or uncommon species are considered only ones in this system, the gamma diversity. So this three diversity system was there. So because our time is over and our revision is also over, because there are threats of the diversity and their impact we can see their impact, and that's why the many plants and animals are extinct, yani they are no more available on the earth crust due to this impact. So there are conservation of biodiversity, and we are doing by botanical garden, geological park. We are making a seed banks and gene bank, etc. National park है, biosphere reserve है. These we are making, and we are conserving the biodiversity by doing such things. So today we will stop now. Our time is now over. So we will join tomorrow with the unit number yeah, uh, 4. That is the pollution. Thank you for listening patiently. You may leave now.